Alright, so I want to do a little bit of explanation on what I think the cfgweather.xml file actually means, and like how to actually configure it yourself. So we'll start right at the very top. Well, I'll say why I'm doing this to begin with. I can't find an explanation anywhere that makes any sense. Every single one I've tried, they absolutely make no coherent sense at all. So I'll make this one, and I think it'll make sense to everybody. Okay, so weather reset. Okay, so for some reason I don't think anybody has understood whether or not this resets it or not. Or for some reason I can't see it in their videos. Either way, if you put this to 1, every time the server restarts, it will reset. It will reset. It will not save from before the restart. So if you want it to save from before the restart, set this to 0. If you want it to reset, set it to 1. If you want to enable this file completely, set this to 1. If you want to disable it, you can set that to 0, and it will go to like the DayZ Hive weather server settings. Okay, so when this resets, it will go to what your actual settings are at. Now, these are the settings that I changed. These are the only ones that I changed, are these values. And I didn't even change this value. This value is the same as default on all 3 of these. But this value is changed, and this value is dependent on your server restart times. So, actual. And when it starts, when your server starts or restarts, it will start out at 0, and that's out of your range here, 0 to 1. And I wouldn't touch any of these values. I think these are self-explanatory, but I'll just say it. As this number gets higher, it will just get more overcast. And so if you set this number lower than 1, say if you set this to 0.5, then it just makes it much faster to get to the max overcast value. And it won't just so you might think that it would only make it to where it would only get half as overcast as it normally would, but if you set this to 0.5, it will still get to the max overcast value, but just twice as fast. So I wouldn't mess with that at all. And this is just how much it can change, like in one go. Like after this number has went off, or these numbers have went off, this is just how much it can change in one go. If you want it to only be able to change 0.1, you can do that. You can set that to 0.1, and it will only change 0.1 of or a tenth of its value. But these are the values that matter. These are the ones that matter. So whenever my server starts, the overcast value is 0. It's completely clear. No fog, no rain. And then it stays that way for 1400 seconds. And that matters because my server restarts every 4 hours. And 4 hours in seconds is 14,400 seconds. Now the last 6.5, 7 minutes, I don't account for, and that's because when I set this to 14,400, it was doing some weird stuff on the restart. It was doing weird stuff. It didn't really make sense. But the last 6 or 7 minutes don't really matter anyways. So this number is sort of like this number here, or these numbers here, but it's not in the sense that it only matters for the very start. After this duration, it will take 120 seconds for the new value to take effect. So if it only goes up 1/10 of a percent, if it only goes up 0.1, it will take 120 seconds to go up that 0.1. After that, after this duration here, right here, say you set this to, let's just say you set this to 2 hours. After 2 hours, then these time limits would take effect. So this wouldn't matter anymore. This duration would not matter at all anymore. Neither would this, and neither would this, until the server restart. And then these would restart again. That's how it works. And I would, if you want no rain on your server, no fog, these are the settings. And I would copy these and go with that. They're very simple. This is dependent on a 4-hour restart. If you had a 3-hour restart, it would be different. You would just take 60 seconds, multiply that by 60. There's 60 seconds and 60 minutes in an hour. So you would do 60 times 60, and then multiply that by however many hours are in your restart. And that would be the number you would stick in here. I would take off a portion of that, because if you do the full amount, for some reason it likes to do weird stuff. Either way, that's my explanation, and I hope it works. Thanks.